In recent history, there have been a number of famous companies who dominated the market for years and almost seemed untouchable because of their head start. But somehow, these companies either got too comfortable or complacent or simply took too long to make key decisions, and that cost them their number one spot. Nokia was one of the most iconic brands of the 20th century and at some point, the leading producer of cell phones in the world. At their peak in 2007, the company had about 51% market share of the world's mobile phone industry. Actually, my very first mobile phone was a Nokia, and most of us have that nostalgia of owning a Nokia mobile phone at some point in the past. However, the reign of Nokia came to an end starting with the launch of the iPhone by Steve Jobs in 2007, which started the app-driven, touchscreen and smartphone era. Nokia had continued to focus on innovating their hardware when the market was moving towards a focus on software. One of the notable missteps of Nokia was when they refused to adopt the Android operating system that most smartphones were running on. The CEO at the time, Anssi Van Joki, described it as a short-term solution and compared it to, in quote, peeing in your pants in the winter to keep warm, end quote. Instead, Nokia opted to keep working on their own software efforts, throwing close to $5 billion of R&D at the problem, but to no avail. Nokia had its own operating system which it tried to revamp called Symbian, and they also created MeeGo, an alternative operating system for their smartphone line. However, it was too little, too late. The problem, according to former employees of Nokia, was that both teams were battling for resources from Nokia's executives, and Nokia took too long to work on strategy. As we know, a team divided internally cannot succeed. This was frustrating to key business partners as well. The CEO of Qualcomm, who was working with Nokia in 2008, said they would present a new technology opportunity to Nokia, but rather than jumping in, Nokia would take a long time, in fact, the better part of a year, assessing the opportunity, and by the time they made a decision, the opportunity was gone. Decisions that most companies would make around the conference table would become extended and tedious at Nokia. According to some of the attendees, there were some instances where 100 engineers and product managers from different offices around the world, like China, America, could be invited to a hotel in Germany for 3 days where it was a chaotic meeting with teams struggling to make themselves heard, and it usually took 6 to 9 months afterward to make a decision. In the tech world, that's just too long, and competitors moved ahead of Nokia and overtook them. Eventually, in 2013, they fired 25,000 employees and shut down most of their production sites, and the Nokia mobile division brand that was valued at $51 billion was sold to Microsoft for just $7 billion. Microsoft, after wasting $8 billion on the Lumia trying to keep Nokia afloat, ultimately decided to end the mobile brand. At Nokia's lowest point, the CEO Steve Ballmer was in tears during Nokia's handover to Microsoft, saying, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." But is that really true? Hello friends, my name is Jeremy. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so, because on this channel I speak about digital transformation, agile strategy, and personal development. The story of Nokia is one of the many examples of large incumbent companies who did all the right things to attain market dominance, but lost their seat at the throne as soon as they began to get too comfortable or complacent. The buzzwords such as digitization, innovation, and digital transformation have become so popular because organizations are beginning to recognize that just like Nokia, you don't need to make a significant mistake to lose your place in the market and your customers. Especially in the digital age where technology is driving a faster pace of change, you either need to keep up or be relegated to the same fate as Nokia. Both digitization and innovation are key components of digital transformation. I've defined digital transformation in previous videos as the process of adopting digital technology to create new business models or modify existing business processes to evolve your company culture and deliver a better customer experience overall. So the integration of technology into all areas of your business to fundamentally change how you operate and deliver value. But this does not happen without innovation and digitization. Digitization is simply the conversion of physical products into digital goods or from analog to digital. For example, where cash becomes mobile payments or debit cards become virtual cards or passbooks become apps. Digitization means the products and services offered, for example, in the finance industry, no longer involve physical components and become what we call digital goods. Digitization is often used interchangeably with the word digitalization, but there is a clear distinction. Whereas digitization is the conversion of physical products into digital goods, digitalization is a more drastic transition where digital technologies are used to change entire business models in order to create new lines of revenue and value-producing opportunities. Digitalization constitutes automation and transforming business processes in order to increase efficiency. Now, this also impacts people because digitalization transforms the world of work, and the acquisition of digital skills has now become a prerequisite for individual, organizational, and industry success. But let's take a step back and think about Nokia. Nokia was both a digitized and digitalized company. The organization had streamlined processes and was pouring as much as $5 billion into research and development as part of their progressive efforts. So what happened? How did they still fall short of competing effectively against the iPhone and new smartphones? This is where innovation comes in to complete digital transformation. Now, digital transformation is the broader term for customer-driven strategic business transformation that requires cross-functional, organizational change, as well as the implementation of digital technologies. In order to achieve this, businesses need to aspire for organizational ambidexterity. Now, an ambidextrous organization, as explained in the Harvard Business Review, is an organization that takes care of current core businesses with one hand, whilst focusing on innovation for the future with the other hand. And these are treated as physically separated business units. So the left-hand innovation unit is independent of the right hand with its own people, processes, and culture. Yet the right hand and left hand are still attached to the same body, so therefore there must be extra tight coordination and alignment at the senior leadership level. So friends, the story of Nokia's fall from grace is a good indicator of why organizations should prioritize digital transformation. However, simply digitizing or digitalizing will not be enough even if an organization is leading the market. Businesses need to constantly keep innovating and become ambidextrous so they do not meet the same fate as Nokia. In the past, Nokia missed out on changing and learning and lost the chance to capitalize on a big opportunity. Nokia is evidence that your competitive advantages of yesterday can be replaced and made irrelevant by the changing trends of tomorrow. You don't need to do anything wrong, but if your competitors are more deliberate in their innovation efforts and faster in decision making, you will be disrupted. Force yourself to change rather than waiting till you're forced to give yourself the best chance to compete for the longevity of your business. If you liked the video, remember to give it a thumbs up and drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.